Brace yourselves, patriots, because what we're about to reveal will send chills down your spine. We've uncovered shocking footage of Vice President Kamala Harris openly discussing her plans to clamp down on social media platforms and restrict your speech. This is not just political posturing, it's a direct assault on our First Amendment rights. But there is a twist. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is stepping up to the plate, calling out this blatant censorship agenda. So as the battle for free speech heats up, we are left wondering, is this the beginning of the end for our constitutional freedoms, or will the American people rise up to defend the rights? Now, patriots, in these turbulent times, taking care of your health is more critical than ever, and let's face it, these wrinkles are not just about vanity. They're a sign that your body's collagen reserves are depleting. After 20, you lose 12% of collagen each decade, but there's a secret. Our magic powder combines the top 5 types of collagen to revitalize your skin from within. Not just about looking younger, it's about feeling rejuvenated. Today, you can get this miracle worker at 51% off, plus free VIP coaching, an ebook, and more. Visit healthwithgary.com or click below. Don't just age amazingly. Okay, so let's just start with RFK here. Got a lot of clips to get into. We got the evidence, and this just was released. Marjorie Taylor Greene's parody account, a press release account. OMG, Robert F. Kennedy just dropped the mic on Kamala for not believing in free speech. RFK Jr. is waking up millions of Americans. Let's look.
To me, it's a disqualifier to be president of the United States if you don't believe in freedom of speech. And Vice President Harris has repeatedly said that the First Amendment is a privilege, not a right, that the government has a duty to censor what she calls misinformation and disinformation, that's not protected by the First Amendment.
That's a very dangerous word, misinformation.
First of all, the First Amendment protects all speech. It protects lies. It protects, it was passed not to protect convenient speech, but to protect the speech that nobody wants to hear. And when the government takes upon itself the right to decide what's true and what's not true, then you have a totalitarian system, because of course it's going to, and we saw this during COVID, where the government was really the biggest propagator of misinformation, of factually inaccurate information, that it then uses the control of information to manipulate the public.
RFK Jr. dropping the mic right there. Of course, if you missed it, he's clearly talking about the rhetoric that's coming out of the Harris campaign.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
It's a republic, buddy.
He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down.
She's talking about Elon Musk here.
Bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation, and that has to stop. He has lost his privilege.
We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community.
I can't be the only one who thinks this is not okay. It's the First Amendment. And no politician, I don't care who you're voting for, whether it's Kamala, Trump, or that one weird guy who was blabbling about on stage. We don't even know where he is now. We don't even know if he's still the president. I don't care who you support, but no one should be okay with a politician saying they're going to restrict your First Amendment right on social media platforms. I don't give a fuck about mouth-breathing racists spewing hateful bullshit online. It's the First Amendment. And for the people who are like, oh, no, it's a private platform, and your First Amendment doesn't account. Shut the fuck up. Yes, it does. because this is a government telling a private company to censor people's First Amendment right on their platform. That
guy's got some colorful language. Before we get into I got this next clip lined up for you guys, but before we do that, I got this Joe Rogan clip here. We're going to play in just a moment of his reaction to this, but I want to throw it back to what I saw in Milwaukee when Tucker Carlson gave that warning. Let's listen.
You've never seen. So I would say hone your spidey senses these next 6 weeks, because you're going to be lied to at a volume with a level of aggression you've never seen before. And the command will always be the same. Ignore what's right in front of your face. You didn't see that. That's not real. You're crazy. That's really the message. You're crazy. You can only trust us. The rest is disinformation. Okay. First of all, anyone who uses the phrase disinformation is a liar. Period. We're done.
Go Tucker, man.
Disinformation is not a category. There's only one category: truth or falsehood. That's it. Disinformation is another way of saying you're saying something that's inconvenient to me. You are criticizing me. I don't like what you're saying. Shut up or go to jail. That's not a valid category. That's totalitarianism. That's tyranny. So anyone who uses the word disinformation is immediately on the liar's side. Don't listen to another word. That person is your enemy. Listen only to people who care about the only thing that is worth caring about, which is it true or not? Is it actually true? And the people who care about whether it's true are your guides through a dark time, and they're your only guides, and they're not many of them.
And we do try to be your guide through all of this disinformation landscape that's just being spewed from the media and from people like...
Even in some in 2016, boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence, because boosting Trump back in 2016.
Hillary Clinton, always. Here's another one.
Even if we were to have a resounding...
Paula Collins proposes re-education camps for Trump supporters.
Even if we were to have a resounding blue wave come through, as many of us would like, putting it all back together again after we've gone through this MAGA nightmare, and re-educating, basically, which that sounds like a rather a re-education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that. I'm sure we can find another way to... Even if we were to...
Let's not call it a re-education camp. Can we find another word? But it's going to be the same thing. This is what they want to do to you, because you choose to make a post on social media. Over in the UK, they're arresting people right now. They're breaking down their doors. Yeah, we're going to get to Joe Rogan's reaction in a moment here. But if you didn't know this, we did a story on this, I don't know, a couple days ago. Gavin Newsom signing a bill to make memes illegal in the state of California. You can no longer knowingly distribute an ad or other election communication that contains materially deceptive content. Manipulating a voice in an ad like this one should be illegal. I'll be sending a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is. Of course, he signed the bill. And I'm going to be very clear about this because, you know, there are now all these new rules about manipulated content, Gavin Newsom making it illegal. The Babylon Bee. I love those guys. And, of course, Mr. Reagan, who kicked this whole bee's nest off with his parody ad for Kamala Harris. It triggered Gavin Newsom to oblivion. But this is the Babylon Bee's response to Gavin Newsom.
All cars Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. This is a message for the people of America, given in my authentically recorded, non-AI voice. Thanks to my leadership over the last several years, California has become a world leader in extremist, left-wing governance. My policies were so effective that almost 1 million people are now fleeing the state every year. We even ran out of U-Hauls. During the COVID pandemic, I locked everyone in their homes and shut down businesses for months. Not the French Laundry, though. That's my favorite restaurant. Last year, I cleaned up the dangerous, messy streets of San Francisco, because Chinese Communist President Xi was coming, and I really wanted to impress him. He's my boss, after all. This year, I signed legislation that allows me to take custody of your kid if you refuse to give him artificial hormones and chop off his genitals. Because if you don't do that, you're a bigot, and bigots shouldn't be allowed to have kids. I've also led the way in green energy by banning all cars that don't run on electricity. Then I banned almost all the electricity. This is smart leadership. On my watch, the cost of living and homelessness have skyrocketed. Schools are failing. Drug dealers and human traffickers are pouring across the border. And poop has covered the sidewalks of San Francisco. This is the positive, joyful vision we offer as Democrats. That's why I'm enthusiastically endorsing Kamala Harris for president in 2024. She'll do to the country everything I did in California. Anyway, I'm California Governor Gavin Newsom, and I approve this 100% real message, which is a recording of my voice without the assistance of any AI whatsoever. This isn't a deep fake, and you can rest assured that it isn't, because I just signed an unconstitutional law outlawing deep fakes. No one would dare violate it. Thank you, and science bless America. Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom, the governor.
Okay, so I do need to provide a disclosure because the overlords at YouTube require it. That was, in fact, a deep fake. That was an AI-generated voice. I don't want anyone to get confused. This is the world we're in, though, folks. That was the Babylon Bee. I know you guys are waiting to hear what Joe Rogan's response to all this. Joe Rogan warns the First Amendment is in danger if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz win.
The more I'll answer your question out there, okay?
Oh, wow. We just said a bad thing here, I think. Are we allowed to say that about masks? I don't know. So as we witness this brazen attack on our fundamental freedoms, we're reminded of the fragility of our republic. Kamala Harris' push for censorship isn't just about controlling narratives, it's about controlling minds. With voices like RFK Jr. joining the fight, there is hope on the horizon. Now we turn to you, our vigilant audience. How far are you willing to go to protect your right to free speech? Share your thoughts and strategies in the comments below. The future of the First Amendment depends on us.